This is ESPN Esports. I'm Arda Ocal. Happy to be joined by the 2019 Capcom Cup winner, iDom. What a surreal moment for you. Here you are as champion. Don't worry, the trophy is safe off camera, but you got to take us through it.
It's crazy. I still can't even believe what happened up there. Like, it's impossible to believe.
So take us through the journey. I mean, you're from Queens, you attended a lot of local tournaments, but 2019 was really the year that you decided to make a really good go at this, right? To go travel as much as possible. What went into that decision?
Oh, it was more being sent out to tournaments. In 2017, I went to a few tournaments. In 2018, but it was never enough to like secure a spot in Capcom Cup. So in this one, I did pretty good in the beginning. I had a great start, and towards the end, I was like, I have a shot at making Capcom Cup. I should close out the season strong, and I kept traveling.
Did you, at any point this year, you know, one of the big storylines is you didn't attend as many tournaments as, say, some of the other players, even Punk that you met in the finals there. At any point this year, did you think, you know, maybe I'll ramp up here so that I can rack up the CPT points and make it to this stage? Well,
in Capcom Cup, I don't believe seeding is like super important because everyone's a killer. Everyone's super good. So it really doesn't matter who you play first round. So
before we get to the finals in Punk, you faced him twice here in this tournament. Who were some of the other competitors that gave you a good challenge here?
Fujimura was probably my hardest opponent because I've never beaten him, like, ever. Going into this, I kept telling myself, if I beat Fujimura, I have a good shot at this.
There were a lot of people in the East Coast Street Fighter community that were saying, hey, when iDom begins to really travel and go to a lot of events, you got to watch out because he's going to wash everyone, right? Like, that was the sentiment, particularly coming into the Capcom Cup. A lot of people saw this as a coming out party for iDom. What did you feel going in? Did you feel like any sort of pressure coming into this tournament?
Not really, because no one was really practicing for me. I felt like nobody really, not acknowledged, but like, I was just another competitor. I wasn't like a favorite to take it. I'm pretty sure no one in fantasy brackets or anything had me taking the tournament. So I feel like no one prepared for me, which gave me an advantage.
Yeah. I mean, you play characters that are rarely seen in the CPT, right? You played Laura as a main, obviously, and Poison, particularly in the grand final against Punk. So let's get to that moment now. So you face Punk in the winners final, and he sends you to losers. So when you get to that moment, you play him. It's a 3-2. It's a close, tight-knit affair. What are your feelings, and how are you trying to get back into the game when you get sent to losers?
Well, whenever I play Punk, I have a good time playing him because he always like pushes me. When it was close, I was like, okay, it's a good set. I can take this, but it happened to go his way in winners final.
So then you make your way out. You go back to the grand finals, and now you have to reset the bracket, and he goes up 2-0. Take me into that game 3 right there, where you're like, my goodness, I have to change it up. I have to find a way to stay alive. When many counted you out, even in that moment.
I really think the going back to character select really helped me. Like, it helped me compose myself because I was getting hit a lot and like just not thinking and not playing my own game plan. So I feel like going back and rethinking it really helped me out.
Let's talk about some of the character changes. You at one point went from Laura to Poison. He picked Cammy to start the grand final there. How did that change things up?
I don't particularly like playing Poison versus Cammy, so it was a good pick from him. He forced me to play Laura, so I played Laura, and I lost the first 2 games. And then when he played Karen, I was kind of nervous because I was like, oh, he could close it out, but I just stayed composed and like made sure I couldn't lose another game.
Do you remember which game it was where you really felt the momentum and you felt that confidence brewing? It really felt like as it was going along that you were really starting to gain that momentum. Do you remember pinpoint a specific moment in the grand final?
The second game of the reset when I was up 2-0, he had to stay with Karen. At that moment, I was like, I can do this because he has to play into my hand. Kind of similar to when I was down 2-0 and he had Cammy and I still had to play Laura. I was playing his hand, but when vice versa, he had to play to my hand, so I got to play Poison.
I know it's only been a couple minutes, but like, How do you process this even? Like, how much time do you think it's going to take before you come back down to earth and start grinding again?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It's maybe a month, like a month or two. I don't know. It's still surreal. I still can't even believe it.
Have you checked your phone? Have you gotten a lot of messages?
I did not look at social media ever since I won. I'm just trying to stay in reality right now.
So what does this do for your confidence? I mean, now, obviously Capcom Cup and EVO are the two big tournaments that Street Fighter competitors strive to win, right? And you had a great placement in EVO this year as well. Now you've won the Capcom Cup. What does this do for your motivation in 2020?
Just hopefully I can repeat next year and keep doing well at tournaments.
Do you plan to travel to more tournaments now? Have you given that thought?
Maybe, because I feel like one thing about traveling and one thing I think I also had an advantage with in this tournament was traveling is taxing. So like going around the world, I've been to 8 tournaments, so coming here, I was refreshed. I was ready to play. Yeah.
You felt that was an advantage to be completely rested up, whereas some people might have been worn down from the entire season.
Yes, yeah. I actually think that is a thing. Traveling too much is it's good for like practice and stuff, but it's also good to like relax, calm down, think, get your mind right.
I know this might be too early to think about this, but a lot of previous Capcom Cup winners, EVO winners, even that we've talked to today have said, you know, after I won that giant tournament, I felt like I had a target on my back. Everyone watched my VODs, everyone watched my strategies, and I had a little bit of struggles immediately afterwards as a result. How do you feel you can counteract that?
People are gonna definitely start practicing against Laura and Poison more because everyone here is probably unfamiliar or like didn't have too much practice against the character. So I think more people will be practicing, more people will like try her out, maybe pick her up, and maybe use her in the tournament.
Last question for you. This was an All-American final. There were 15 Japanese players coming into the Capcom Cup, much less American representation, but the final 2 were American. So my question is there a sense of pride there that the final 2 in the Capcom Cup, the biggest tournament of the year, many would say, were from the United States?
Well, I think it was a good look because it shows that U.S. is a strong region and we're no region to be slept on. So I think it gives people more like respect on U.S.'s name, and like the 2 best players right now are from the U.S.
How will you celebrate?
I don't know. I'm still in disbelief. I still don't know. I'm still like a little numb from.
Well, we appreciate you taking time, even in this State to Do this interview. Congratulations. All the best.